YouTube, what is going on? Welcome back to the channel, and here we are today talking about protein. So I'm just going to show you really quickly how I manage my protein intake. So I've got my steaks here. They're going to go in the fridge along with, let me quickly show you my fridge and freezer. So I've got my chicken in here. They're going to go in as well. I'll leave that up one, to be honest. No, I won't. I'll leave that there. I've got chicken in there. It's probably about 2 kilos worth. Beef steak mince, 400 grams. These are from Muscle Food. I'm actually going to freeze them because I've got quite a lot of steak out. Actually, no, I'm not. I'll leave them. That'll be fine. So I've got choice between chicken, beef mince, sirloin steaks, and then I've also frozen some more steaks, frozen fish, and then I've got more chicken down here being frozen as well. So I'm stocked up, and that's what makes it a lot easier for me. So your best bet, definitely best bet, is to buy in bulk and then freeze it and take it out as and when you need it, rather than constantly going to the supermarket because it's going to cost you heaps more money. Just while my chicken is cooking, I'm going to do a quick rant on protein intake. A lot of people struggle with protein intake, and it's down to a lack of management and a lack of variety you put in your diet. So everyone seems to think immediately chicken, and I'm guilty of this. Even this week, I think on Monday and Tuesday, my protein sources were chicken and whey protein, literally all day. And I had 400 grams over the 2 days just of chicken and whey protein. Worth of protein, not actually of chicken, so it was like a lot of chicken. Just because my time management wasn't very good, so just to make this about. So to ensure that adherence is met, just be more varied with your protein source. So you've got chicken, eggs, beef, steak, fish. Like, there's so much variety that you can possibly have, and also you've got your protein shakes. It makes your protein intake varied, that way hitting it becomes a lot easier. And split it across the day. So I'll do a video on this once this chicken's cooked, but I'm going to eat this and then I'll do a more informed video on hitting your protein goals. We are going to try and explain everything within this whiteboard today, and that's this way you can then go away and implement the things that I'm trying to talk about in this video to ensure that you get an adequate protein, because that alone is going to ensure that you make crazy progress. Because protein is, for me, it's the primary macronutrient, and it's the same for the fucking Greeks as well, and they were clever fucks. So back in the day, the Greeks always said that protons, which is what they called it, was protons is the primary macronutrient because it is the best macronutrient for optimal body function. So, and I fucking love carbs, but I'm with the Greeks on this one, because if we are hitting all the carbs and all the fats like we currently do, as a world, that's what we tend to do, where we overeat on carbs and fats, and look at the state of us now. Whereas back in the day, the Greeks were stacked, and they weren't many fat ones either. So the fact that they made protein their primary source of food just shows just look at the Greeks, they look fucking ridiculously good, right? They're all gods. So they must be right to a point. Am I wrong? And the research now largely supports that an adequate amount of protein is hugely advantageous when it comes to optimal body composition and seeing great fat loss results whilst maintaining muscle, which is the idea of this channel. Where I'm not trying to sit here and do anything but promote the best thing for you to do with regards to making the best body composition results. So the idea is not to get you to lose weight and just lose a load of muscle in the process. You want to try and maintain muscle, if not build muscle in this weight loss phase, so at the end of your phase of fat loss you then look fucking epic rather than like a bag of bones, because you've lost all your muscle and you've still actually got skinny fat, right? So ensuring your protein is adequate is going to ensure that you actually maintain muscle mass and even can build it if you're a beginner in a fat loss phase. So in a calorie deficit you can still build muscle if you are a beginner. So even if you're not a beginner, what is a beginner, right? So there's so many things that can be classed as a beginner. So what I'm doing at the minute, for me, I'm a beginner because I don't normally train like this. I've been away for 3 months, so I haven't been training, so I'm in a really good spot with training at the minute. Even though I'm in a calorie deficit, I'm dropping weight, I feel like I'm adding more muscle. So this is largely down to adherence to a diet and the fact that my protein is adequate. So I'm going to go through what I've got on the whiteboard, and hopefully I can educate you on the reasons why protein is such a primary macronutrient according to the Greeks. And I am with the Greek gods on this one. So adequate protein is essential in a fat loss program because it enables us to protect muscle. I've had a monster and it's gassing me out big time. But yeah, protecting muscle, which is what we'll just talk about, it's the main thing, right? So there's no point in going on a fat loss phase and eating inadequate protein, because then you're not going to support the muscle that you're trying to build in the gym, and then you're going to lose a heap of muscle and a heap of protein in your body, which is then going to result in weight loss, but isn't going to be the look in the mirror that you're looking for, right? Guys or girls, this is relevant for both of you. Okay, so the benefits of protein. So I'm literally just going to make this really short and sweet, and rather than talk about all the boring stuff that comes with eating protein diet and the benefits, I'm just going to go through the benefits that are relevant to you and the ones that you give a fuck about. Okay, the first one is sciencey, but it's the thermic effect of food. So protein, in order to be turned into an energy source, it actually, we burn a majority of that protein we eat, 30% of it almost, is burnt in digestion to turn it into energy, right? So whereas our body can turn carbs and fats efficiently into protein without actually digesting many calories to do so. So let's say you eat a chicken breast, right, and it's 200 calories. You're potentially going to burn 40 of those calories just from eating it. Even more, like 60 calories from eating it, just that digestion phase of actually digesting that food and turning it into an energy source. That in itself, I'm talking way too fast, but yeah. Thermic effect of food is big, right? So we burn calories eating protein, whereas we don't burn as many eating carbs and fats. So that in itself in a fat loss phase is a big one, right? So there's that, thermic effect of food. Okay, so benefits, muscle growth. So down the bottom, recovery, that's the two, right? So muscle growth occurs from training. So the training you do will be the thing that creates that. But if you're not then eating enough to ensure you're recovering, you aren't going to see that muscle growth. So train hard in the gym, eat enough protein to supplement that. Otherwise, you will not see the results you want from your lifting, because you're not going to recover optimally. So there's them 2 points. Satiety. So this is how full you feel, and this is huge in the fat loss phase, because the last thing you want to feel is fucking hungry all the time, because that's going to make your diet unsustainable, because inevitably you're going to binge and you're going to eat calories that aren't on your plan, and then all of a sudden you've overeaten and therefore your fat loss for that week is gone, right? Simply the increase of protein in your diet is going to help you feel fuller on a diet, therefore making your diet easier to follow, therefore you can follow it more for a longer period of time. So adherence is met, which is the thing that I talk about a lot. Once adherence is met, your results are going to be even greater, right? So that's just the reason why protein is high, because it improves levels of satiety, which then in turn improves results, because you're not binging and overeating on calories, which is the problem most people have. So what they do is they undereat all week, and then it gets to the weekend, they're like, fuck me, I've been starving all week, this weekend I've earned a treat. But really, then 5 days of dieting are ruled out because they have 2 days of binging, or 3 days of binging, and then all of a sudden their calories for the entire week puts them into a calorie surplus, which is what results in weight gain. So their fat loss diet all week is fucked because of the weekend behaviour. And this is like a psychological thing as well as anything else, but ensuring protein is high Monday to Sunday ensures that you're not overeating on calories because your satiety levels are met. So in the week, like I've said before, increase your fucking calories, stop making yourself so hungry, because at the weekend you're fucking yourself over because of it. Next, it prevents muscle breakdown. So this leads me on to the final point, and also there's heaps of health benefits, right? There's fucking loads to eating more protein, like skin, hair, like everything is protein. So if you eat inadequate amounts, then you're going to prevent your ability to have nice skin and hair and all that shit, right? So there's heaps of health benefits from eating more protein. So more protein and more water, which everyone struggles with, is going to do crazy amounts for not only your health, but and your body composition. So if you want to look better, drink more and eat more protein, because that's simple. This doesn't mean shakes, this means food. So chicken, eggs, beef, fish, like all of these things are going to be the basis of your protein, right, in your diet. And if you need a supplement to increase your protein intake, then that's the only reason why you'd use one. This isn't about recommending a protein powder. Like, I'm never going to recommend a protein powder. Even if I get sponsored by the greatest company in the world, I'm not going to sit here and say, you need to buy this product, because that would make me a prick, because it isn't true. Because if you can get it in through food, you don't need it, right? Okay, off track, ranting like normal, but right, the target, like the RDA, which is the recommended daily allowance, or the daily amount in the UK of protein, is 0.75 grams per kilo, right? So it's averaging out about 55 grams per day for a male and 45 grams per day for a woman. Yeah, that's my thoughts on that. So if in my contest prep right now, I was to eat 55 grams of protein, I would look like a bag of bones right now. There'd be no way I could recover from training. I would lose the majority of my muscle. So this is where You need to be smart when you diet, because if you don't, you're going to then look shit at the end of your diet, and that is not the end goal, right? You want to look as best as you can, and a higher protein intake will support that. So that RDA is based on the typical human being, right? Me and you, if you're watching this video, we are not typical human beings. We lift weights, we train for performance, we're trying to better our body composition via doing things that are fucking stupid in the gym, right? Like we're pressing weights up and down, that isn't normal, okay? But you want to achieve like a better body composition, and that's what you have to do. Therefore, an adequate amount of protein will be 1 gram per pound of body weight. So ignore the RDA and the stupid thing that they put together, because if we go back to the Greek times, they were saying it's a primary macronutrient. Now all of a sudden, and when in them times everyone looks fucking amazing, whereas now everyone looks shit, and it's largely down to the fact they're making stupid RDAs like this, because yeah, maybe for health it's optimal, but look at the state of everyone. Look at that, ain't healthy, is it? Being hugely overweight isn't healthy. Yet we will happily encourage people to only eat this much protein in their diet, when the reality is that their adherence and the satiety and their actual calorie intake will reduce largely if they're more full, which they would be from a higher protein diet. Hence why when I take clients on for fat loss and for muscle building, and whatever clients I'm working with, we always ensure that protein is met at least 1 gram per pound of body weight. And if it's someone who is more overweight, then that amount doesn't need to be quite as high, because they aren't going to lose a heap of muscle in the process, because they have huge amounts of energy stores, right, from being overweight. Therefore, protein and that amount doesn't need to be as high, but still it needs to be increased from what it was before, because of the benefits it comes with. So thermic effect of food, it helps you feel full, which in a diet is essential. So if this video does one thing, it'll encourage you to eat more protein and eat enough protein in your day consistently. So if you see my Instagram story, and if you see all the content I produce, it's all about encouraging consistency into an approach. So it is no good you going away next week and thinking, yeah, I'm going to go over Jack's video and I'm going to eat higher protein, I'm going to eat 1 gram per pound of body weight all week. A week ain't going to make no difference, mate. You need to be consistent with this approach moving forward. So you need to ensure that the protein becomes the priority in your diet. And if it already is, then all of a sudden you can think of, right, in order to improve performance, how can I place carbohydrates and fats, and how can I incorporate meal timing to increase my performance? Like this is the kind of nuts and bolts that I will get into with these videos. But for now, if you're not already addressing your protein intake, then start to fucking do it. Use MyFitnessPal, set a goal every day and actually go and hit it. Like, it's all well and good watching this video, but actually going away and like taking action on doing this shit is the thing that's going to get you really fired up, because that's what's going to see you get results. And that's why I'm doing this video, is because I want people to get results and I want these videos to add value to your life, not just because you think, God, he's got a lot of energy talking to a camera when no one else is in the room, which is quite weird, right? But I just want to see you get results from the content that I'm putting out, and I want to be able to help people on a larger scale than what I was doing previously. So this is why I'm putting out these videos. This is why I'm sat here in my living room talking to my phone, and hopefully it adds value into you. As well as this video, I'm going to add in a little bit about how I freeze my protein, my chicken, my steaks, and how I take them out as and when I do, to ensure that I'm not always going to the supermarket. And it can get expensive, right? So a high protein diet can get more expensive than a low protein diet, because of like steak, chicken, it can be expensive. So there's a few little things that I do just to keep costs down, like buying in bulk and freezing it and taking it out as and when I need it. Like for time management, it's so much better than always going to the supermarket, because frequent trips is going to take time out of my day, and that's time that I can't spend doing these videos and helping the people that I want to help. So hopefully this helps, and if you found this video useful, by all means please give me a thumbs up, and that will help more people see this video. And if you haven't already, click subscribe. And yeah, I hope you have a great weekend, eat more fucking protein, and I will see you next week with some more hopefully helpful videos. And yeah, have a good one. See you soon.